Let's take you back to the Randburg Magistrates Court just outside where the leaders of the EFF are addressing their supporters.
We were there to bury our mother, and a wise, racist, pink, racist Afrikaner male refused us an entry where we were supposed to be. And Zinzi Mandela says in the statement to the court when she was still alive, what Julius did is too little. I would have done worse if somebody had blocked me to bury my mother on that day. So the emotional state of all of us on that day will have to be taken into consideration. And therefore, for us to take a stand, to relive that painful day, to be told that what happened on that day, to remember the burial of Winnie Mandela, to bury Winnie Mandela for the second time in this court will be a traumatic experience. We're refusing to go through it. Let them take a decision. Let them do what they want to do. If it means sending us to prison for insisting on burying Winnie Mandela, let it be. We are not scared of what we did. We are not ashamed of what we did. We've maintained that we've done it, and we should have done worse than that. But because we restrained ourselves out of the respect of the laws of South Africa and respect of the funeral of Winnie Mandela, we did what we did. So this matter is done. Let them decide what they want to do with us. We are not going to be doing up and downs here because of common assault, because you touched a white man. Let them decide what they want to do. We are still going to touch a lot of white men because it was a crime during apartheid to touch a white man. It's still a crime today to touch a white man. We are going to touch them, we are going to kiss them. Whether they like or they don't like, we are kissing them. If they don't want, the ship is ready by the harbor. They don't want to be touched, let them go into the ship. They don't want to be kissed, let them go into the ship. Because they came here in our land, and therefore they will never tell us how they must be treated. They are visitors, and we decide how we treat visitors in our own house. This is our house, this is our land, and there's nothing wrong with done. This is a persecution. Where have you ever heard in the history of judiciary people standing trial for 4 years on common assault? It has never happened anywhere. The longest trial of common assault. They say no, we appeared first time in 2019. That's fair enough, but we were charged in 2018. Whether we appeared or not, it doesn't matter. The trauma started in 2018. We are now 4 years on a useless charge which must destabilize the work of the EFF. Today, we should be in our branches recruiting more members, getting 1 million members by December, quantity. January, starting to workshop that membership into quality membership, transferring quantity into quality, so that in 2024, when we say attack, we've got 1 million trained soldiers on the ground. That is the whole idea. They are not happy with that idea. They want to destabilize the EFF. We remain focused. We don't concentrate on these issues. These are, by the way, they will never destabilize us. We've got bigger battles to fight. Yes. And those battles include giving the people of Deep Sloot a dignified houses where they will live with their families and enjoy clean water and electricity with tarred roads and people in their families working. There shouldn't be a single house in South Africa without a person employed. That should be declared crime against humanity. The whole family without one person working. When you go next door, The whole family of the ANC, they are working, including the most illiterate Dom Cop that we were better than him at school, is working. We must never have such a thing amongst our communities. And have a suburb right opposite Deep Slot. Everybody working. In all white families working, and even having people working for them. But next door, there are people who are dying of hunger. When we were in Durban for the floods, the Indian community, this side, in proper houses, those floods did not affect them at all. When you jump a road on the other side, is the shacks. It's our people who are washed away by water. 2 communities in one area, others affected by floods, others not affected by floods, under the same divided by a tar road. Those people are not staying on a proper land. They are staying inside a river. The councillor knew that that thing is a river. The municipality knew that that was a river. Instead of relocating those people and giving them a proper land, they just left them there for the day the floods come, so that they pretend to care. If you cared about them, why didn't you make an alternative for them before the floods? Because you saw them staying inside the river. The same thing here in Alexander. Here, you have a situation where people are washed away if we get heavy rain. Then the whole government goes, hey, let's help people. But we all know at Stweta that those people is just a matter of time. If the rain comes, they're all going to die. But they don't care. The people who he gave 500,000 to in Durban, and all those people who are living in halls and shelters have now called to say the food is finished. Those donations that people have given us are finished, because the floods are no longer a headline. They are not going to get anyone giving them food, because no one will appear on TV for giving them food. They gave them food because there was TV. Now the TV is gone, the food is finished. Those people are going to die of hunger. Till today, they have not identified an alternative land. When I was there, old Gogos said to me, Malema, we identified 3 pieces of land. We tried to occupy them. These people shot at us and said this land belongs to an Indian family. One family. There are so many people staying inside the river. Why can't you expropriate that piece of land? Because it's not going to be used for Malema's benefit. It's used for public benefit. They said the Constitution allows expropriation of land without compensation. This is an opportune moment for them to show us that indeed that Constitution allows that which we said we must amend it for. They will never do it, because that Constitution does not allow expropriation of land without compensation. But if they had allowed the EFF amendment of the Constitution, under this flood, we're going to expropriate land, relocate our people on a proper land, not on a rotten land. And that way, we don't have to say we need budget. We don't need budget. We need land we see with a naked eye. And then come and stay here. Then everybody has got a place called home. So fighters, you are not dreaming when you say you want land for your people. You are talking about things that are real in the lives of ordinary masses of our people. And the elite in the suburbs will never understand what you are talking about when you talk about land. That's why they say to you, you want land to do what with the land? They will never know that there are people who are staying in the river. When you say Durban, the first thing that comes into their mind is Zimbabwe. They don't know that there are actually people in Durban who are suffering the most. So, comrades, when we go to 1 million members, we seek to resolve this issue of the land. Because with more votes and more power, we are able to influence and change policy direction of South Africa and make it useful for ordinary masses of our people. Now, we are going to by-election in Ward 53. You must bring it. It's very easy to bring a ward. It doesn't need lazy people. It doesn't need people who take roll call, who is there, who is not there. It needs people who work without looking at who is there. We are being asked to come with Ward 53. It's a suburban type of a ward. I don't want you to bring village wards and then they say EFF is a rural party. We need to bring Protea and demonstrate to them that we are not a rural party. We are not a party of squatter camps only. We are a party that also appeals to the black elite because ours is a superior logic. But when you talk to the people of Protea, you don't call them the same way you call people in the rural areas or in the squatter camp or in the township. Because majority of them do not attend meetings. So you have to make house calls, identify a street, identify a progressive family, call them into that family, this street, into a meeting in that family. Many of you want big gatherings. The revolution is not about big gatherings. It's about reaching the smallest corner of our country. And you can only do that if you go into house to house. Because the people of Protea are going to give you more votes because you convince them. Not because you give them social grant. Not because you give them 350. They want to understand logically what is it that you are going to do, and they are going to engage you. You can't promise them t-shirts. You can't promise them water, they've got water. You can't promise them electricity, they've got it. You can't promise them food parcels, they are working. But you can zoom into the electricity and say the billing system of Joburg is not correct. And therefore we're going to correct the billing system of Joburg. So the electricity argument is not off completely. It needs a different approach. The same as water, the same as unemployment, the same as they have been working for government in the past 4 years. They never got increase. You ought to know those dynamics and persuade them with regard to those issues. Don't use the same approach because you will never win them. Those things of slaughtering cattle, you might slaughter that Protea, it will be eaten by volunteers. Because they will say, hey, hygiene, So we don't want that. We want you to bring it and bring it convincingly. There's a clown here called Mashaba. He said he was going to make a historical move at Pretoria, Ward 96. And then he even went there to go and receive the results. When was it? On Wednesday. I met a DA. Feel like a reverse. I met a DA as better in Jagamu. It's a second later, a better Huluka Guama Figenga 1-5 EFF. Because Mashaba doesn't know that building an organization and winning by-election as a pepper. It's a work that took the EFF almost 9 years to 10 years. And we said to you, Liska fela pilu, politiki itama yualuka true. It moves like an elephant. Maramoy fitile ngona, it leaves a mark. And that's what you are doing through your groundwork. So fighters, do not be discouraged. I, for one, am not discouraged. We continue to fight for as long as our people are suffering. And that's why the enemy is after us. In Floyd Shibambu's case in Cape Town, the person that they say Floyd assaulted goes to court and says, no, he didn't assault me. Do you think, the witness says, no, this guy could not even touch the floor. Then the main guy says, no, I touched the floor. What do you mean? There, it's AfriForum as well. In Marshall Dlamini's case, common assault or assault GBH, they say, no, he beat the white man there. And our own black person says, I'm the one who picked up the spectacles. And that white man says, no, there was no any spectacles picked by you. So the amount of contradictions, they are too much. Why? Because there are no cases. They are pursuing individuals with the hope that you will be discouraged. Mamutaki a court, Ogolenar, not a Jalnadi Ferry, Chilipelali court. So we must not be discouraged. We are on the right track. Especially when a white man pursues you, you must know you are on the right track. A white man does not pursue a useless person. So, and I'm happy with that. I'm not complaining because I don't want them to like me. The day they like me, you must know I sold out. There's a problem with me. So I don't want to be liked by these white sellouts who stole our country. And ashamedly, they are saying they are going to Supreme Court of Appeal. They want an apartheid flag to fly high. Those are the people that Mandela said we must reconcile with. They don't have any reconciliation with you. They want the flag to go high. They want this stamp to be sang all the time, everywhere before we sleep. So we cannot allow that. We are not going to be part of any white supremacist agenda which seeks to perpetuate apartheid. We are refusing that and we are rejecting that. EFF is the only threat to white supremacy and white agenda. That's why they will pursue the EFF. There is no any other party that is pursued like the EFF because the EFF has replaced the 1944 generation of the ANC. The Mandelas, the Apimda, the Sisulus, we are those people now, and we learn from them. The real ANC that was transformed by the Youth League in 1947, 1949, made it adopt a radical program of action which seeks to restore the land in the hands of our people. When the ANC turned to be what we are, their leaders never knew peace. When they pursued the agenda we're pursuing today, they never knew peace. Mandela and them were in and out of prison. Tambo had to leave the country into exile. They were sentenced to life imprisonment in the 60s because they were true to the cause. When you are true to the cause, expect the enemy to hit hard. You can't give the enemy such sleepless nights and expect the enemy to respond with roses. It will never respond with roses. Phela batho ba ya mnati mon. Ba ya mnati ba ntshimnati. Wena o fitla ba ya mnati o re a re sharing. Bara o tlo re tlwaela o. are to share anyone. We are not used to sharing. So that's why EFF will be a threat. But do not be discouraged, because theirs is not an agenda to build. It's an agenda to perpetuate divisions amongst people. Ours is unity. Problem. But no, now you must be excluded. No, let's come together. The same thing with Africans. We say, let Zimbabwe, everyone, let's come together. But we don't care. Why would a person who says we are one, let's be one, be an enemy? A person who preaches unity, he says the unity of Africa is important. Unity? No, you are a problem. We grew up being told that we must come together and be one.
Yes.
Today, asking people to come together to be one. You are an enemy that must be destroyed, because oneness will destroy South Africa according to our enemy forces. So, we are going to fight to unite this continent. We need a currency, one currency of Africa based on our minerals. It's going to be stronger than dollar. They will all come and kneel here. The strength of dollar emanates from oil. We've got all types of minerals. Oil very soon, Floyd, is going to be history, because we are now being told of electric cars. So our minerals are going to sustain us generations after generations. And our dollar, our currency can compete the dollar. That's where the threat of unity comes from, because they survive through division, divide and rule. Why would London have so many bricks of gold, too much gold, yet they don't have a mine of gold? We, if we're to put our gold together and reclaim the gold that the Queen stole from us, no one can come close to us. Just with the gold alone, as an African continent, they don't want that. The unity threatens the domination of London when it comes to gold, and therefore they will never agree that there must be a unity of gold in Africa, a unity of diamond in Africa. When it comes to diamond, we compete with Russia. Russia produces very beautiful diamonds, colorful diamonds, but our diamond here in Africa is still the most powerful. That's why internationally the diamonds are governed by what we call the Kimberley process. It's named after us here. The whole world process is named after us. Why? Because we've got the best diamonds here in Africa. How can people say you are a dark continent when you've got a shining diamond? How does dark and shining go together? Because we're supposed to be a shining continent, not a dark continent, because we've got a diamond. We'll talk about these things one day when we have time, because I heard you talking about Marxism with Gogos there at Mutimulle. Amanda! Thank you very much, comrades, for coming. Maintain discipline. Let's go and work very hard. We have been struck by very, very disturbing news about the passing away of Hilary Gadi, the 28-year-old daughter of our former Secretary General, who was killed and dumped in some forest there in Mpumalanga. We still don't know the motive. We still don't know the killers. When I leave here, I've got a meeting with a team of private investigators because we do not trust police. The police have let us down. I spoke to Minister Mbuyiseni this morning and I said to him, 72 hours is over. And therefore, we are not the ones who imposed 72 hours on you. You imposed it on yourself. And because you have not met your own target, you have failed. And therefore, the EFF cannot fail. We have to find them. Wherever they are, we will find them. We will find them. We want everybody in Mpumalanga to come to the party. And we are prepared to pay to make sure that we bring to book this killer of our daughter. You touched a wrong daughter. You touched a wrong girl. And therefore, you will know the might of the Red Beret. The Red Sea is on them. We want everyone, taxi industry. There is no best intelligence in South Africa better than the taxi industry. Because they know all of you. They know your shoes, they know how you wear. So if there is anyone in the taxi industry in Mpumalanga who sees a person with new cavelas and what, it means he got a new money. It's a suspect. We need to be on them. So we need everybody to come on board. Tomorrow, we are going to give her a dignified send-off. She's ours. We are pained by her death. The father is highly devastated. Can't take the pain. And you know, when you are now supposed to bury your own, you sometimes even blame yourself that perhaps if I was here, I would have done things differently.